Unlockable attires have become a bit of a sore point over the last couple of years of WWE games. A lot of you will know this. If you don't, then well, let me educate you very quickly. MyFaction has gained a very bad reputation, unfortunately. Otherwise, it's an okay game mode. This year's being much better than previous, but the bad reputation came from new attires creeping into the game through MyFaction, and those fresh attires not being transferable from that mode to others. Now this despite for decades unlockables being a staple of WWE games and any wrestling game, to be fair. The reason why that is because every other mode, if you unlocked someone or an attire, you'd be able to use it or edit it or do whatever the hell you want to it. It was yours. You can use it even online in games. So 2K decided to change things up this year, and Visual Concepts have added Persona cards to MyFaction with the ability of allowing players to take their MyFaction earned cards or purchase cards in some cases and be able to use those across the game wherever you wanted to. Universe mode, you got it. GM mode, you got it. But what if you're on the other side of the coin? Maybe you're a MyFaction player and you want to be using some exclusive items from game modes like MyRise and transferring those across to MyFaction. In fact, obtaining the best deck possible is only done with that method. Well, I've got you covered on both ends of the scale because today we're going to be covering off all the unlockables, whether it's MyFaction to main game or from main game to MyFaction. Let's start off with the Elite Cody Rhodes. This is part of the Nightmare Family pre-order pack and the Sheamus 2009 Persona cards. These basically, if you pre-order the game, you get Cody Rhodes as an Elite action figure, and if you open MyFaction to get that card, well then you'd also get the Sheamus 2009 Lobster Head Persona card. Yes, you get the Shameful Thing Lobster Head theme tune and Titantron alongside that. It's pretty cool. Both of those will be unlocked for you the moment you open your starter pack for Sheamus and a pack which is given to you automatically for Cody Rhodes. Next is the John Cena Elite card, and whilst that might sound obvious, if you've gone past April the 1st, well, you might not be able to get this anymore. Go to the locker code section and enter the code Your Story 2K24 to get yourself the Elite John Cena action figure, and that will transfer with the Cody and Sheamus to the main game for you to use whatever mode you want. Whilst you're there, enter the code head of the table, no spaces, all caps, and you'll get 2 extra legend packs, potentially netting yourself a Sapphire card whilst you're there. You're welcome. But before we do that, you've got this far, so obviously you're enjoying yourself. So please hit a like on the video. It takes 2 seconds of your time and it's free. In fact, everything in this video is free, so hit something free as well, and it helps me out and gets this video out to more people. And leave a comment down below, who was the last superstar you unlocked in any of the modes? Whether that's in MyFaction, whether that's through Showcase or through MyRise, let us know in the comments down below. Let's move on to MyRise because there is a ton of MyRise superstars you can exclusively access and play as in MyFaction. And I know that's gotten people a little bit irate, but if you don't know about them yet, let's go through them. And I have to agree, I do think if you could play as them in MyFaction, surely you'd want to play as them in the main game. But listen, there's ways and means of getting access to these attires with community contributors like What's the Status, converting this amazing Asuka attire into the main game, which you can download off of Community Creations, and I'll leave his details at the very bottom of the screen so you can search and find that yourself. But on top of that, Asuka, which is rated at 81 overall, I have to check a list, by the way, because it has a ton of cards you can unlock. There is an Emerald Odyssey Rift, a Sapphire Ava Marino, a Gold Melee Fanny Fan, I think it says. If I get it wrong, I apologize. An Emerald Justine, an Emerald Carly Prime, what looks like to be, it says a Ruby the manifestation, but the screenshots I've seen, it's an Emerald. Maybe that's wrong. I've got the stuff on screen so you can see it clearly for yourself. There's also a MyRise John Cena, a Batista, both in particularly interesting attires, a gold Psycho Sally, and a gold Geneva Rose to go alongside it. But if you didn't go through the women's MyRise, you might have gone through the men's, which is the undisputed route. And this includes 7 rewards, including a gold Gabriel Slade, a Sapphire Slade, a Sapphire Zero, which is Austin Creed's personal character character from his Up, Up, Down, Down series. A Ruby GG Dolan, a Sapphire Chosen, Gold Cole Quinn. I wanted Black Hole Cole, but I'm guessing that wasn't possible. And Ruby El Ordinario, all of which can be a part of your MyFaction just by completing both modes. Some of these do require you to go down certain paths, but if you are in doubt, I'd recommend going to the SmackDown Hotel, who have some of the best guides possible. I'll link that in the description down below. Now, unfortunately, like I mentioned at the beginning, none of these are Persona cards or transferable, and hopefully that will change as time goes on, because the manifestation is something else. If you haven't seen the crazy taunts, entrances, and paybacks, then I'll just let you explore it yourself. Seriously, the women's MyRise is something. Before we get to showcase mode though, I have to ask you, we're halfway through this video and you've not subscribed? Why not? Well, if you are subscribed, thank you very much. If you're not, then make sure you press that big button. It could be red, white, black, whatever color it is. It doesn't matter, because if you press it, you'll be told when I upload more 2K24 content and Persona cards and the ways you can unlock them, and much, much more that's coming to the channel in the future. So why not? It's free and you can change your mind at any time. Where was we? Showcase, yes, because Showcase has the highest level of rewards that you can unlock for MyFaction. Now, these rewards are already unlocked in-game once you've completed the mode or you purchased the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition, and these unlocks are essential if you want to have the best deck in MyFaction possible. And these won't require anything else except you beating and 100% completing all the objectives on each mission. Included in these are an 83 rated Shawn Michaels Ruby card, an 82 rated Bianca Belair Ruby, a Charlotte Flair of 82, Rhea Ripley of an 82 Ruby, an 80 rated Ricky the Dragon Steamboat Ruby, an 81 rated Becky Lynch, a 79 rated Sapphire Asuka, a 77 rated Sapphire Ken Shamrock, and a 76 rated George the Animal Steel Sapphire. And I'll tell you now, I saw Ken Shamrock making the game this year and I was so pumped. I still remember to that day that match he had with The Rock that turned me into a Ken Shamrock fan. So if you haven't got the best deck in MyFaction and you want to know how to get it, then literally just play those two modes. In fact, you could just play Showcase and you'd have the best sets of female cards that are available. This will help you massively with modes like Faction Wars, Proving Grounds, and the Weekly Towers. Not to mention add more cards to your collection bonuses as well. Now moving back to Persona cards, these are cards you unlock in MyFaction, and we start off with the one that everyone wants, Seth Rollins. Not just any Seth Rollins though, no, Shield Seth Rollins from 2014, before he broke all of our hearts. It still hurts, and went with the Authority and turned his back on the Shield. Poor Dean Ambrose, he hasn't been seen since. Or is that just me trying to forget his singles run? Anyway, this Seth Rollins 2014 entrance, thanks to Cameron CWE, which I'm guessing this is modded. You cannot get access to this card at this time, but this is what it's going to give you. Not just the Seth Rollins attire that looks absolutely beautiful, but the Shield Titantron, the Shield theme, and entrance motions for in-crowd and out-of-crowd. Yes, they're really hitting hard with this Seth Rollins. In fact, this is probably the only way you're going to be able to get access to make the Shield unless you add Roman Reigns' old theme, which is possible, but it's just not the same, you know? It might sound the same, but it's not the same. Now, these are unlocked using Oddities. This is a new system that's been introduced this year with the Persona cards. You need to find 5 Oddities in MyFaction. The good news which, before this weekend, we had no idea how this was going to happen. Now, 2K Games are actually teasing this on their Twitter, so it's highly likely we will know very soon what they're doing. Although at the moment it seems they're focusing on a Cody Rhodes oddity instead of the Seth Rollins, to everyone's displeasure. But I wouldn't be surprised, because it's a Ruby card, and obviously Ruby cards are the highest at the moment, if that changes very quickly and we get onto that Seth Rollins card. Now, to get him, you would have to collect the following oddities. You have to get a torch, a tactical tactical vest, the Monday Night Messiah jacket, some sunglasses, and the big red boots. All 5 of these are going to be spread out in the game mode. This means you're going to have to be playing Faction Wars, live events, weekly towers, all to have a chance at grabbing these Seth Rollins oddities. As to where exactly, well, I just recommend you subscribe because that's the only way you're going to know as and when it happens. But I very much doubt they'll put these in paid packs unless they want a riot on their hands. Seriously, 2K, don't do that. MyFaction's finally got a decent reputation. Please don't mess it up. Then you've got Trick Williams, and this is a boxer attire. This is from 2022, and as you can see again, the entrance from Cameron CWE on Twitter. The oddities for this, although it's not going to be as sought after, it's still a pretty good card and definitely an attire I'd like to whoop that Trick. Yes, I mean, I'm going to kick his ass in that. I'm sorry if I've just turned heel on everyone, but listen, I can't listen to Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. The man ruins him for me. I'm sorry. But anyway, the Trick Willie hat is the first of the oddities. Then you get the No Mercy boots, a Cuban link chain, boxing shorts, and boxing gloves. Again, these will show up just like the Seth Rollins across the mode. Now, there are other oddity cards in the game, but not ones that have the persona, which allows the cards to be used as attires across the game. The final 2 include this amazing Hulk Hogan Elite Ichiban. This is a locker code that's going to be released very soon. It looks phenomenal. Even if I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan for reasons, I have to say that this model looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to use all 3 of these in my universe and GM mode. This again, like the Cena and Cody, is the Elite action figure and will be exportable for use across all the modes, which is just bonkers. The last one is the Hurricane, and the Hurricane is actually able to be downloaded now. Thanks to What's the Status on Twitter, you may know him. He has already uploaded the hidden model for this, which one would assume is the persona which eventually will become available through MyFaction. So if you want early access to this, or it seems like early access, go to Community Creations, What's the Status, and download it, and it's yours. There's a bunch of other hidden models, but the only one we know about that will definitely be getting a future Persona card is Finn Balor. Yes, Demon Finn Balor, which is available to download, but was seen in a game that I was playing of Faction Wars, which means he's gonna be released at some point very soon. Although the card I found, I believe, was an Amethyst, so it might be a little wait, but it definitely seems that Demon Finn Balor's coming as a future Persona card for the main game, which he should be, and it needs to come with the Demon Finn Balor Titantron and theme. Thank you very much. But if you do want to find out what he looks like for yourself, just go into Faction Wars and play, and you'll eventually come up against him. Just don't expect an easy time. He's pretty good. This last one's a bit of speculation. DLC packs. We're going to see DLC packs every other month from May onwards. And obviously these include the likes of the ECW and CM Punk pack, the WCW pack, the Pat McAfee pack, or the pack I'll use Pat McAfee and nothing else that's in that pack. These are all likely to feature Persona cards at some point with alternate attires. Now, not the DLC packs themselves, but probably cards of those superstars with alternate attires or alternate looks, which will be available at some point in the future. Now, don't take that as a guarantee, but it's very likely you're probably going to see a different version of the likes of CM Punk and probably the Dudley Boys. I'd be shocked if you didn't. 2K know that the mode has money, and I couldn't think of a better way to sell season passes than to put a guaranteed exclusive Persona CM Punk for his old school ECW days as part of the DLC. As far as I'm concerned, that's a slam dunk. But that's going to be it from me. If you've got any others you've seen or found, let me know in the comment section down below, and you'll see regular shorts from me on the channel if you press that subscribe button, showing you unlockable superstars that have been made available on the community creations, amongst lots of future MyFaction videos and plenty more 2K content where that came from. Until next time though, I have been JB, you have been awesome. Make sure you press the like button on the way out. Thank you very much. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, there's a MyFaction video with a pack opening at the top. And if you're new to MyFaction or haven't given it a try yet, go to this video just down here which explains how to start the mode the best way, what cards are the best ones to get. And I'll see you very, very soon. Peace out.